Ziggity Zig back with another Griff venture of Griff. I forget what number, but this is a game between Griff and PistolPerez. Oh, here is PistolPerez over here in the southwestern quadrant of Ohana? No, this is Condemned Ridge. Condemned Ridge. This would be Condemned Ridge. Now, just to warn you, there may be a lot of ums and ahs and pauses because just minutes before I started this, I had just got back from donating a pint of blood. And before donating a pint of blood, I went out for lunch and had a pint of beer. Do not mix your pints because then what happens is you start feeling much lightheaded, very lightheaded is probably what I meant to say, and you end up getting stretchered out and having a bunch of people put cold, wet cloths all over your face. So, I'm much better now, hopefully, so the show must go on. Here's another one that Griff actually titled as Phoenix Attempt. Now, the funny thing is that in all of his replays that he named Phoenix Attempt, he spelled Phoenix incorrectly. So let's just have a quick peek. And we look at menu, no, return to, where's help, where's Protoss units, and there it is, Phoenix. Phoenix. Phonix. Phoenix. Phoenix. So there you go. Griff's spelling of Phoenix is actually P-H-E-O-N-I-X. So there you go. Phoenix. Not Phoenix. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Interesting blockade here, but yeah, this is pretty much the way that we both try to do it because you want to block so that at least the Zerg needs to go around that side, because if you start the block on the western quadrant of this and then the Zerg pretty much has a full gap through with their units and you want them to take as long to get around as possible because then you can pick them off with all of your ranged units, including your sentries or your stalkers. Griff has now had a quick peek inside of PistolPerez. Yep, that's what I'm saying. Also, I'm going to burp a lot because they fed me a bunch of sugar, so I'm actually trying to drink some ginger ale. I seem to be low on ginger ale, but there you go. Griff also takes this tower right here, which is very excellent. Do you know what I don't have? Boom! There's the production tab. What am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing at all. We got one gas on the way, and he's trying to work on getting this drone out of here, but I'm not seeing any sort of unit come out. I don't think there's any units on either supply. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so the first zealot is on his way out. Doesn't seem to be focused on any one thing. PistolPerez is just at this point doing a quick patrol around in Griff's base. Now, meanwhile, PistolPerez is still going out on quite a long scouting mission out over in this direction. And look at these rocks coming into this mountain. I've never noticed half of this stuff before. But back in the main base of PistolPerez, getting a expansion already. So pool, one gas with no units in it. So apparently probably not going on any sort of two-base roach rush, I don't think. Not unless he starts getting into gas pretty soon, but still no, nothing. The Zealot finishes off the drone, and that means that Griff can start working on some of the remainder of his production. So remember now that as soon as the Cyber Core is up, that is when you can start making yourself a Stargate. And there it is, way in the back corner, which is, ooh, tricky. I don't think that would be the best place to put it. Honestly, right here would be a really good place to put it, because over on this side, there should be an Overlord right there. So, since you already know, I mean, Griff already knows here where his opponent is, and he knows that basically Overlords are going to be popping over from this direction, because if playing it as a good Zerg, scouting and maintaining a sort of small distance away from your opponent's bases, I have no idea what is going on up here with PistolPerez. This one should probably move back to the center of the map somewhat. He's got a few just sort of on the outskirts, but along this ridge and slowly moving over, just keeping an eye on this middle area here. I mean, I know you're usually up against a when you're up against a Protoss, you're not too worried about ground attacks, but look, you have early flight scouting, so yeah, this should have been spotted much sooner. Having an Overlord right there, that would have done it. Here comes a single Zergling. Perhaps this is going to be... Oh, it's going to be the Scout, and as well, this is going to be the end of Mr. Probe. Probe, gone. However, Phoenix is now out there. All is well. Army supply is up on Griff's end of things because PistolPerez is working on two things. Expanding slowly, with two bases, and having a completely useless presence around the map. This is probably just some sort of weird, vague search for proxy pylons, fearing the foregate, which, you know, yeah, sure, you can fear the foregate, that's cool. But in the meantime, fearing the foregate isn't going to get you very far, wherein there are, how many Phoenix now? 1, 2, and a third one? 3 Phoenix on their way. Love the animation of the Stargate warping in. So here's this guy. I still don't quite figure out what he's doing, but that's okay. So let's go over and watch the action of the 3 Phoenix at work. Ready! And they do a little bit of pickup. Nope, no pickup. They go after Overlords. Oh, that's an idea. Oh, that works out quite well because PistolPerez is not doing too well as far as supply is going. So picking off this queen is going to be a big deal. Nothing that shoots up just yet. PistolPerez is now actually working on one more queen, which is an idea, but I don't think yet. With the evolution chamber just starting there, and that is what did it. So not being prepared for this. Had PistolPerez had that Overlord over there, that really would have made an enormous difference. Now there's 4 Phoenix over here. This game is done. There's nothing PistolPerez can do about this. Spire is on the way, but basically there's nothing stopping Griff over here. Now, this was a pretty solid play. I like this hold. Probably want one more sentry just up here at the top. Not one more, but just one in general. Like the way Griff is still working on his production back home. He's got a few things going, and definitely 1 or 2 other Phoenixes still in production. Now all of these Overlords were made just to try to stop the supply block, but there are 4. There are the 4 spore crawlers on their way. Here's one right there. Here's another one right there. So now Griff is in a small amount of trouble, but he can still be picking off the queens, still keeping PistolPerez from getting much more in the way of supply, picking off a few more Overlords, and just making sure that there is no other attacks that can be coming out. Griff is now totally out of in terms of supply, just needs to catch up on these gateway units, getting quite a bit more. So Griff is a little bit stuck with things to do. There's not really much to do. So now what Griff needs to worry about is holding this and doing something about it. So there's more Overlords on the way. The Overlord's finished, and there's another Queen on the way, but the Spore Crawler's going to help around the back, except not on that side. So basically, Griff just needs to continue poking because there's a few spots here and there. For example, the front can get around on this side, could probably do a bit more damage. The Mutalisks are not quite ready to come in, but the Spire is done. So here they come again for another quick poke. Probably want to bring in the gateway units at the moment as well. Here's an annoying little Zergling just I can see down here on the map. Griff's going to come in one more time, just have a quick peek. See what he can see. Sees quite a bit. Picks up a couple of these drones. One or two of these interesting things. And there we go. So the Spore Crawlers do start to move around. Now would be an interesting time. Oh dear. Losing out on a couple of these units. But still 5 Phoenix. 6th on the way is a very decent hold on this. That's gone quite well. For some reason, PistolPerez is working on Zerg flyer attacks, and if you still notice, PistolPerez still has absolutely nothing in the way of scouting Griff's base. Now, still does not even know, so brought in a Zergling scout, but look, you got, not that, but you're flying. Look how basic are your flying units. Zerg. Just sort of weird that PistolPerez does not have more Overlords sort of in a range that can do something about this, because look, they're all just wandering over, and I know it's a bit late now to have any Overlords just over there, but because you know that he's pretty much gone air and is attacking you from that direction. But I just tend to think that had PistolPerez scouted that a little earlier, definitely could have had a few more Spore Crawlers, could have taken care of that in a much better way, could have nipped that in the bud while making some more units, and then taking care of the entire thing. I don't see a Roach Warren, I don't see any Zerglings, I see very little of anything, but mostly just working on... there we go. So there's 5 Corruptors on the way, which is an intriguing maneuver, because Phoenix will outfly Corruptors, so really just trying to stop that from happening, and then hopefully just moving out with an army and going and getting Griff's main units should take care of this. So both of them kind of stagnated a little bit now. Griff definitely pulling ahead in the income realm, even just on the 2 base, because Griff, not quite into having, probably want to do a bit better of a split. Well, no, it's pretty well saturated on base 1. So here comes the remainder of the troops. Griff has been working on this army, probably had plenty of time to take care of this. Go up and take a look at this, because this Zergling knows you're here. This is making PistolPerez sweat. Oh, and there he goes. Everybody dance now. These Phoenix are still over on the left-hand side of the natural base, and here is PistolPerez finally taking advantage of the fact that he had this entire zone totally cordoned off. Griff has no idea what's going on up here at the top, but PistolPerez finally decides to do something about it. And here are a couple of spine crawlers, so that will do some damage. Griff's probably going to pop a Guardian Shield in just a second. We'll see when... Nope, Guardian Shield, anything, anyone? Yes, three Guardian Shields are what you're going to see, and boom! Oh, I was not expecting that. I was really hoping to see PistolPerez stay in that with the amount of things that he had. Now the Corruptors, so basically, probably wanted to go with Mutalisks, because the Mutalisks could have helped quite a bit against that army, but the Corruptors, the Corruptors do better damage against the Phoenix, so Griff was just using the Phoenix kind of as bait to find out how many Spore Crawlers were being built. Now, 4 Spore Crawlers over two bases, that's actually quite a good response. That's not bad. Units lost. Griff lost a total of 4 for a total of 725 minerals. Wow. Well, resources in general. I don't know. I think PistolPerez definitely could have stayed in this. Griff up with the EPM of 41. PistolPerez only with a meager 31. But as we know, the EPM does not always mean everything. Griffventures of Griff. Leave me a comment down below. Send me an email, ziggy@gmail.com. Check out my Twitter at ZiggyStarCraft. You want some more of my adventures with that guy Griff? We're over on our own channel, youtube.com/limenotlemon. Lots more information there, but I won't go into it because nobody really is interested in that. What? If you can take one thing away from this whole thing, take away this. Don't mix your pints. Pint of beer should not equate to pint of blood. Don't drink either. At the same time. I don't know. I'll feel better later. Stay tuned.